Sad, very sad. I had a high level of hesitancy to make this video, but I felt compelled to say a few things about Eddie Van Halen simply because he's so enormously influential, such a brilliant improviser, such originality on a level that's unprecedented. That screeching you hear is a train down here. I'm in a land of trains, man. You know, you have to get used to it. I'm sorry. Hauling garbage, I think. I'm going to tell you something that is in relation to this. There is a video on YouTube on Eric Clapton. I'm not going to leave a link for it. You just type it in. Just type in Eric Clapton on Jimi Hendrix. And in this video, Eric Clapton talks about Jimi Hendrix. And it's not so much he talks about his musicianship and how great of a guitar player he was. What's more profound about it is what he says about his music. But before he says anything about Hendrix, he talks about Robert Johnson. And in the video, he says he will not be in the company of people at his house and put on a Robert Johnson record if nobody feels it. And he said that's how he felt about Jimi. That's how he felt about Jimi Hendrix. I would convey that message to Eddie Van Halen too. I would say that, you know, you can't listen to him in good company if nobody really feels his playing, because when you think about it, I don't think there was more of an emotional guitar player to emerge from those late 1970s eras, from the disco era, and just light the guitar on fire at an unprecedented level since Jimi Hendrix did it, to how Eddie Van Halen did it. He just jumped on the scene. He wasn't favored by a lot of people. He wasn't favored by a lot of record companies. He wasn't favored by a lot of managers. I remember him saying in a lot of interviews that nobody wanted Van Halen. Nobody wanted to sign them. Nobody wanted to listen to them. It took them a long time to develop the techniques that they would be known for, especially him. You can't name a guitar player. I would say from 1978 to 83, those are his most formative years. And that's when Eddie really constructs his guitar playing on a level that defines him, you know, who he was and who he is always going to continue to be. When I started my website, markgrago.com, I got into the category of music reviews. I wanted to write my reviews on albums that I liked, on pieces of music that I liked, and I have included quite of an extensive list. I've got blues on there, I've got some jazz on there, and I've got classic rock, I've got metal, I've got stuff like that. The first article I did, the first essay I wrote, was a review on Van Halen's self-titled album, their first one. In my view, that's their best album. Their first one is their best one. That's just my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. But I really think that is just a definitive album. That introduces the world to how unique this man was going to become. It's an important album to have, even if you don't like Van Halen. Irrespective of what you think about him as a person or even as a guitar player, you can say he's overrated. I don't know how you could say that, but some people have. I've actually heard people say that. You can say what you want about him, but I don't think nobody took the guitar to its fullest imaginative course it could go upon, because nobody believed in the potential since Jimi Hendrix that an instrument could obtain that kind of level. He seemed to have understood that. He's in a 1% class with artists when it comes to guitar playing. I mean, Eddie Van Halen he's the epitome. He is the icon, especially in my generation. Growing up in Pittsburgh, we used to listen to WDVE. Now, I don't listen to WDVE no more. It's been many years since I've listened to that radio station. I've got my own reasons why I don't listen to it anymore. But back then, they used to have something called, and you older guys are going to remember this, the older gals, the young people not so much because it hasn't been around for years. They used to have on Friday nights something called the Metal Shop, and Jack Malloy was the host of that. Jack Malloy was the greatest DJ ever. He's up here with Wolfman Jack. I kid you not. Jack Malloy is a legend in Pittsburgh. The guy was amazing. You older folks, leave a comment below this video. You know exactly what I'm talking about. all good things come to an end. All errors come to an end. I didn't realize that he was battling cancer as serious as he was. I had heard that he had it. I heard he went to treatments for it overseas, and I assumed he was all right, like I think most of you did. Most of us. I assumed he pulled through and he was beating it and he was okay. And then I heard 2 days ago that he was dead. It was my day off from work. I was doing some stuff on a computer for my website, and I decided to take a break, and I turned the news on, and that's when I found out, and I was crushed. I couldn't believe it. This was a person who I grew up with idolizing. Now, I must tell you, in all honesty, I must confess to you that I am not a huge fanatical Van Halen fan, but I am a huge Eddie Van Halen fan because I respect his originality and innovation. And he's one of the few artists out there that still carried that integrity to what it means to actually pick up an instrument, play it, but not only play it, but master it and create your own language. In several interviews I read over the years with him, one of the great things that he taught us, that he still continues to teach us, is you can't be afraid. And now we're living in a time when even his death has been overshadowed by all the violence in this country, the racism, the division, the pandemic. It's overshadowed everything, including his death. Eddie Van Halen is not the musician no longer because he's passed on, but now he's a great teacher, and he teaches us that we must walk through our fear. He said in interviews many times, nobody wanted Van Halen and nobody liked my guitar playing until they actually liked it. Eddie Van Halen continues to teach us. He's now a great teacher. Even in death, he's a great teacher. And he continues to teach us that no matter how bad things are, no matter what kind of levels of uncertainty you're looking at in your life, don't be afraid to be you. Seek out that which you are passionate about and pursue it, because if you don't, you're going to regret it the rest of your life. I think that's one of the great lessons he teaches us, that he continues to teach us. It's important. Don't be afraid of who you are. Don't be afraid to take that risk. Don't let somebody point a finger in your face and tell you you're no good, because then you're going to end up being a loser. Eddie taught us how to win. He picked up the guitar, he put some improvisation into it, he found out he was pretty damn good at it, and he wrote us a beautiful language on that guitar. And boy, what a language it is, and continues to be, and always will be. See you in the next video.